Alrighty, so today we're going to be having a look at flat rate depreciation. So I guess the main goal of talking about this is, what is depreciation? Well, depreciation is the fact that when you buy something, it gets less valuable over time. So you buy a car, it's brand new, it's great, it's beautiful, it costs you $20,000. In a year, it might only be worth $15,000 or $17,000. So what we can do is we can use a percentage to actually show the decrease that's possible. So in general, whenever we've got percentage increase flat, let's say flat percentage increase or decrease, we can calculate our D, our common difference, using this formula, which is the interest or the percentage over 100, right? So turn it into a decimal, multiplied by T naught, or D is equal to I over 100 times T1. Except there's one thing we've got to add to it, which is that we can never be sure whether it's plus or minus. It depends on whether it's increasing or decreasing. If it's increasing, we're going to use a plus. If it's decreasing, we're going to use a minus. The T naught or the T1 just matters on whether we have the first term or whether we're given the 0th term. Usually, we'll be talking about the 0th term, but it's not always a hard and fast rule. So let's have a look at the first question. Donato buys a new cash register for $2,400. T naught equals 2,400. And wishes to depreciate it using a flat rate of 9.5%. Because, right, he's trying to plan ahead. He knows that it's going to devalue over time. He knows it's going to depreciate value. So it's important to then be able to predict ahead of time and know how much it's going to be worth in a few years. And so he's decided that it's going to lose about 10% every year. So it's going to depreciate. Depreciate means lose value, so it's negative. And then that's 9.5 over 100 times 2,400. And we get that it is going to be negative 228. Okay, so it's going to lose $228 every single year. So, part A, how much does the value of the cash register decrease each year? $228 every year. B, what will the value be of the cash register after 7 years? Alrighty, well, let's write down our rule. So Tn is equal to T naught plus Nd, using the T naught version of the form, is equal to 2,400 plus N times negative 228, or we could probably better write that as 2,400 minus 228N. And we're interested in N equals 7 after 7 years. So T7 is then equal to 2,400 minus 228 times 7. And that's going to tell us how much it's worth, which leaves us with $804. So it'll be worth $804 after 7 years. Alrighty, so there's my sentence for part B. And then part C asks, how long will it take before the value of the cash register is less than 1,000? So I guess an important part that I didn't actually do at the beginning is I didn't define what T was. So let's actually go and do that before we move on. So Tn is going to be, is the value of the cash register in dollars after N years. So it really does matter to set up your variables really clearly so that we know what you're trying to do. Okay? So since the value is Tn, then we're just going to be substituting in for C. When is Tn equal to 1,000? So we get 1,000 is equal to 2,400 minus 228N. Solve for N. So let's subtract 2,400 from both sides. And then we'll be left with negative 1,600 is equal to negative 228, and divide both sides by negative 228. And we are left with n is equal to. Alrighty, and we get 7.01. So that's approximately 7 years. Sorry, this should be 1400, not 1600. I knew something had gone wrong. Alrighty, and then this becomes 6.14. Alrighty. Now, since we're depreciating, that means that after 6 years, it'll be just a little bit more than 1,000, and then by 7 years, it will be well and truly less than 1,000. So we do need to round this up. So it will take 7 years for the value of the cash register to go below $1,000. Alrighty. So just be mindful that often when solving for n, you're going to get things in the real world which won't be whole numbers. And so you'll need to make sure you round it up or down, depending on the situation in this case, because we're depreciating. If we stop too soon, we don't get below the $1,000 mark. So we need to wait until one more period so that we're well and truly on the other side of that line. And you can see up here that we already knew that after 7 years, $804, we already knew that that was below $1,000. Alrighty, so there's a little bit of practice on depreciation. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.